Yeah, I'm still recognizable, though. If someone knew it was me, they'd be able to recognize it.
Yeah, Mike, the plastic surgeon at St. Raymond's Hospital, I think, did a great job with your face. I mean, rebuilt
Oh,
you
thank God.
exactly the way that you looked before, which I think is what you said that you wanted that as you were going under. You said, please make me look exactly the same. People are after me.
Yeah.
I want to be recognized.
Well, after the Maury incident, the people in the WPP told me to get plastic surgery, and I did. But I'm actually pretty confident in the way I look, so I didn't want to change too much. But I was very happy that they got rid of this mole here. That there was a mole on my back. Yeah, and they just removed it.
You had an Enrique Iglesias mole on your back, and you were so vain that you wanted to get
and
that
you got
removed?
rid of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I had to get. Listen, I can't be recognizable, so I got that removed.
Well, yeah. No one's seen Enrique Iglesias since he got his removed, so the logic is sound.
It's flawless, absolutely. Yeah, no.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So yeah, now I'm unrecognizable. And yeah, you guys saw the what about Maury? The incident at Maury.
First of all, I wanted to back up because I didn't know what you were talking about there, and then also WPP is what? Just for
the Witness Protection Program?
In case anyone hasn't heard the previous 22 episodes, maybe not throwing around acronyms for things that nobody has ever used. Not even Medea uses WPP.
For anyone not in the know,
you refer to that movie as Medea's Witness Protection. You don't refer to it as Medea's WPP.
I refer to it as MWPP, actually.
Well, you are in the minority, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
Because if you go on the Medea forums, and I know you do...
it's bookmarked on my Lenovo.
People are gonna have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I was talking about the Witness Protection Program because, as you know,
the French don't like you.
Well, the French, the flat earthers, various people that think I tainted their testosterone. There's a lot happening at that one. It wasn't great.
It's not people who think that you tainted their testosterone. It's the people that you told testosterone was taint. The taint of the beast that testosterone comes from, which no one knows what it is. Nobody knows what the beast is, but we just know that it makes good testosterone.
Well, when I spread that around, my intention was because, as we know, Alex is running for mayor.
Hello.
His enemy was one of the people that was at the forefront of the testosterone movement. My idea was like run of the mill, just dirt slinging and stuff like that. But it kind of blew up in my face. It didn't really go very far.
Well,
the dirt.
You say dirt slinging. You were throwing grenades into Old Man Dirt's dirt pile, which is, a local landmark.
I heard that he
does dirt, he does mulch, he does gravel, like any kind of pile that you want.
I also saw him
he will provide for you.
Well, he was carrying a croissant, so that was out of self-defense.
Oh, you think Old Man Dirt is in with the French?
Can't be too careful.
Well, I did notice that in the Baguette district, which of course is the new hip happening neighborhood here in Limbrook.
With Baguette About It.
I noticed that now there's Old Man Dirt Outlet, which is like a small format, like very hip, like it looks like a Goop store, except instead of like jade eggs and stuff on the walls, it's just piles of dirt. And Old Man Dirt is in there, and I will say he does look better than ever. So
he never looked bad. Give the man credit. He's a looker.
He's in there, and it's like kind of a like Sephora thing where he's putting the dirt on people and like saying, it's good for your skin. It's hydrating, which I don't know if that makes a ton of sense. And yes, the reason I know about this is because I was in there, because I am vain, because you used all of our FSA account that we share for your plastic surgery instead of my plastic surgery, which was not medically necessary, but was emotionally necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking at alternative solutions, including but not limited to rubbing dirt on my face. Or, sorry, having Old Man Dirt rub dirt on my face.
That's a different experience. I agree with you.
Yeah, that people pay extra for.
We should go back though. What is this? Speaking of old men, dirt in the colloquial sense of like juicy gossip, Maury. You said you were on
I love it.
The Maury Povich show?
I love it when you... Yeah, I was on the Maury Povich show. I love it when you break down slang using old man terms like colloquially referred to as... I can't even say it. I admire the talent.
Yeah, because you're so... we get it. You're young and hot now that your back mole has been removed.
You can't even recognize me.
You keep saying that you're Gen Z, but I don't think that you realize how your TikToks are coming across.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, Adam, I don't know. He's back down to 2 gray hairs.
That is true. But now so what you did, I think, was, and you showed this in one of your TikToks, which is why I think that you don't realize the message that you're sending. It was zoomed way in on the crown of your head where your 3 gray hairs were. And then you showed yourself applying the Just for Men and then zoomed out and then showed yourself coloring in with a silver Sharpie the 2 hairs in front to do sort of like a skunk streak kind of thing. Except the whole time you were breathing incredibly heavily and shirtless, of course, in front of the mirror to show off the lack of mole, which without the context just looks like you're shirtless in front of the mirror.
It seems fine.
Yeah, no, I was breathing heavy because it was actually a very laborious experience. I had to color in 3 whole hairs. That's a lot of work.
3 whole hairs? Speaking of taint?
No. Okay, listen. Hold on. That's
I feel like I would be more involved for a conversation this sexual.
Well,
yeah, I agree.
But I think I should stay out of it.
The OnlyFans doesn't drop till after the campaign.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is our big pitch to the voters.
That's on the Baronis zone.
The Baronis zone is our OnlyFans. We should just start dropping extra content. We should make an OnlyFans and just drop audio of more Everybody Loves Raymond episodes.
Well, that was our big October surprise to the voters, and we decided to do our own October surprise where we said, Alex, if elected, will launch OnlyFans, which is going to be extra episodes of the Baronis Zonus with nudity and masturbation involved.
Of course.
So carrot stick, sort of like motivating people to get out to the polls, to get off to the poll, that so to speak.
Hey,
I don't remember this.
Oh no, we did this for you while you were in the hospital while you were getting your leg. Was it operated on?
We all got plastic surgery this week.
Yeah, Alex got
Adam,
thigh
implants. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, look, these thighs don't lie. I'm going after Shakira.
And those are I will say, your most successful billboards yet. Those thighs don't lie, where you're doing a deep squat.
Yeah.
It's causing traffic problems as people veer off to look at it, but it's...
Well, it's hard to drive with one hand, Adam.
As they're finding out.
Yeah.
As families across town have tragically been finding out.
Yeah, a lot of broken homes coming in. But that's okay. So I'm going to get into this damn mayoral's office.
So, Mike, you were on the Maury Povich show?
Yeah, let's get back to that. Yeah. So as I did it just because, we know that Lynbrook is full of various levels of, retirees and unemployed people and other people that would watch the Maury Povich show on the regular.
I see.
Yeah, so, the election's next week. Alex has fired me as his campaign manager, so I don't need his approval to do things anymore. And so I went and I decided, hey, listen, going on the Maury Povich show to do a talk show would be a good idea, just to promote the ideas.
Yes.
And as I was going on, and they said that they had found my dad's, and that was really weird to me because, I have a fine relationship with my dad. He lives in another state, but, it was I haven't spoken to him in a while, so I was like, oh... Maybe he got
my girlfriend lives in Canada excuse.
My dad lives in Canada.
Are you implying that I don't have a father? Is that what you...
I don't know. Well, it sounds
Mike.
like you didn't before, but maybe you do now if what you're this invitation that you received is accurate?
It sounds like you got two.
Yeah, I was intrigued.
Monkey.
Yeah, you noticed the plural. Yes, that's correct.
Well, yeah, because
I was also surprised by the plural.
You know, when you've been talking about your dad, you're like, my dad lives in Canada. He's really cool. He actually was on the team that won the Stanley Cup last year. And we said, what team was that, Mike? And you said, the one that won the Stanley Cup. And we said, no, what team?
Classic Mike.
You're always like, oh, my dad started the Second City and is really good at improv. We're like, we see no genetic evidence of that, but sure.
Well, you see, he goes to another school, so you wouldn't know him anyway. But so I was very excited to meet my dads. I was like, all right, let's go. I got very, very pumped, and I went on the Maury Povich show, and I was like, hey, Alex is going to build a Raymond statue in City Hall. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna get Lynbrook swole again. This is gonna be great. And then he was like, okay, well, we did the test and we found out that these two are your dads. And he was not ready.
I guess they didn't care about me.
He was clearly not ready for a political conversation. I don't understand why Maury would feel ill-equipped to deal with politics. But at the same time, he decided to hard pivot. He was like, all right, well, that's not why we brought you on. We found that these two are your dads, and we wanted to hold this episode because it's very, very rare that a man has two genetic fathers. And so he gestured to the curtain, and he pulled back the curtain, and it turns out that the people that he brought out were Emmanuel Macron and Dylan from the Flat Earthers, the two people that we know have basically put me into, the Witness Protection Program, the WPP.
The double WPP.
Yeah.
That's twice.
Yeah, both times. And so I was shocked, and I was like, dads? And they were very angry, and I ran. And that's why we are not in Lynbrook this week, if you guys were wondering. Yes, it's also to help out our friend Billy and Billy Joel, of course. And
I thought we were getting a car fixed.
Well, yeah, so there's a lot going on, Mike. It did work out. So I do want to zoom in, though, on the moment of you being told that these men who have been blatantly, bloodthirsty for your death,
actively
being told that they are your fathers, and your immediate response to that was to look at them and say, dads? Like,
that's right.
You didn't think that maybe this was a trick. You bought into it from the jump, pleadingly.
Well, I saw Star Wars.
Right.
I saw Star Wars, and if there's one thing Star Wars taught me, it's that it's natural for men to be, have terribly adversarial and abusive relationships with their father, as highlighted by Luke Skywalker saying no and getting his hand chopped off.
It's natural for men to find out that their biggest enemy is their father. It happens all the time.
Well, Mike, I got a question for you. Did these two know they were your father the whole time, or did they just find out too?
Well, I kind of got the sense that they were not interested in a loving relationship because, like I said, they immediately tried to kill me again. So I'm unsure. Yeah.
How'd they do it? Like in the classic style of, well, I guess this is more of a Jerry Springer thing of like grabbing the chair or like, lunging for you and screaming. How did this go down?
No, Macron came out, said something in French while pointing a bottle of wine at me very threateningly, and then used that bottle of wine to the cork end. The cork end. He was pointing the cork at me.
You didn't think he was maybe offering you like a celebratory? I know you don't speak French. Maybe he was offering you like, son, let's share some wine. And he was so excited that it came across as angry. No,
I kind of get the sense that listen. Like I said, I don't know much French, but I can speak angry in every language, and he was very clearly pissed. Not least of all because he immediately used the bottle to then turn around and try to sharpen the guillotine that he had on Wheelers as he was pulling behind him.
Oh my God!
He was yelling at me in French.
You were going to get French Revolutioned?
I was gonna get French. That's still how they execute people in France. It's part of why they famously do not have a great military. Because the only way they know how to kill people is by guillotining them. Sorry, yes.
What was the size of the guillotine hole? Was it that he just didn't have a bottle opener and he really wanted to get that bottle of wine open, or was it that small large. For a different reason?
It was.
Because I did see the footage. I mean, only the clips that have been going around that you put on you put these on your TikTok thinking that they're showing that you're like this cool, young, sexy guy. Yeah.
I was on TV. I can't just not acknowledge that. What are you talking about?
But the clip was so devoid of context. It was just a zoom in on this guillotine with a very small, the girth of this hole was insignificant, is the only word to describe it.
I assume he was trying to chop off my fingers. Like I said, apparently dads chop off their son's hands. I assume he was going to go one finger at a time.
Right.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
well,
he was
the
very
song that was underneath it, it was original audio. It was you singing the song. You're like, smaller is better. Smaller is good.
Well, they wouldn't let me post it without sound.
Right.
So I had to sing something, and so I decided to, use Alex's campaign song to get it in the background.
Yeah, that is Alex's campaign song, of course, because Alex is
classic.
A lot of different messaging coming out of Alex's campaign. It's a big tent, but small government is part of it. He really believes in literally a small government. Most of the real estate being taken up by, statues of Ray Romano. So, small rooms where you have to, like, crawl. It's sort of like, I can't think of any examples of that, but it's sort of a small rooms
when
kind
we
of
have
thing.
A small room?
Yeah. It's like a pantry.
Yeah.
The it's like a pantry. Yeah.
Less so a normal room that is small than an abnormally small room is like in Willy Wonka when he opens the tiny door. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Now I see what you're saying. Yes. That's right. Yes. I don't know why I'm confused.
Pantry,
I'm the campaign manager.
Closet, bathroom, half bathroom. Sorry.
So, yeah, I mean, that was only half of it. The Dylan, the flat earther, who, again, I got pissed at me after I played Around the World by Daft Punk at a flat earth meeting. And he then took out a Frisbee and chucked it at me. And it was very violent because the Frisbee was clearly very sharp. Yeah, exactly.
The flattest weapon.
Yeah, listen, he's nothing if not consistent. I got to give him that. But yeah, I fled. The cameraman chased me, and then
the cameraman chased you. Oh, with the camera.
You've seen Maury when they say you are not the father, and they chase around the woman with the camera as she's clearly having an existential crisis and one of the worst and most heart-wrenching and traumatic experiences of her life. The cameraman is clearly trained to get her on camera in tears. Yeah, they use that guy to hunt me down.
First of all, I thought that you were saying that the cameraman abandoned his post to run after you. To either console or harm you. Okay.
Did you not see the part 2? I got like 30 likes. So
no, because I saw the other clip that was going around of the other camera. Camera B was staying on Justin Trudeau, who was also there, who found out that he wasn't the father, and he did the dance. You know the dance the guys do on Maury when they find out they're not the father.
Uh-huh.
He did the dance. Which that should have tipped you off, because it's like, clearly the most francophone episode of Maury to date, as far as I could tell.
Well, Justin and I left things on a good note. He gave the speech in front of Dunk This Donut and then went on his way. He wasn't pissed anymore. Macron was very pissed because, as you know,
I promised him an army.
The army of 50,000
and delivered 5.
Sorry, I forgot that this was the reason why they were pissed at me.
Oh my god. So much has happened.
Yeah, I promised Macron the army of 50,000 people, and then he found out that Limbrook was only 20,000 people large, and he got really pissed and wanted my head on a pike, hence the guillotine.
On the turnpike. He wanted your head.
On the turnpike, yeah, exactly.
In the center lane of the cars-only lane on the New Jersey Turnpike.
So, anyway, I'm starting to get the sense now, as I'm explaining this to you, that they probably weren't actually my real fathers, and
you'd think it might have been a
they
trap.
were laying a trap. It might have been. There's a possibility that it was a trap, and I'm disappointed because now I still have to go to Canada to visit my dad. Well, I guess I'm still on good terms with Justin. He did the dance, so So I could make that happen.
You're going to Canada where you are going to visit your dad at, what you have described as the world's largest mansion. And we've asked for pictures, obviously, and you turn around and you go, hold on, I'm pulling them up in my photos, and then we see you opening Zillow, and for location, you just put in biggest house, which doesn't come up with anything, and you're like, hold on, I'm looking for it. And then
I remember one time you just showed us pictures of my own house.
Yeah, well, you see, the problem is that it's so big that the iPhone camera can't get it all in, so I need to use Zillow, because that's the only app that has
you need
an advanced
satellite
enough camera.
imagery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure. We totally believe you. But
I would hope, because I'm telling you the truth.
It did work out, I guess, that you're on the lam again because, as happened last week, the recreational was rear-ended by a semi-truck because we were parked in the middle of Sunrise Highway. So what we did is we can't afford AAA, but we did get AA to come and tow it back to Madison Square Garden, where we got it from Billy Joel, back to Billy's garage, which is where he keeps his vehicles, he keeps his, various helicopters, speedboats, his, obviously the Downeaster Alexa is a boat. He keeps the Up-Easter Hey Google in here.
The Upwester
Hey Google.
Yeah.
Which is a very small, like, Da Vinci-style helicopter. This is where he keeps his vehicles. He's got some guys, who service them, and he said, no problem, pull that recreational in here. I will have my guys work on it, and it'll be good as new in time for the big campaign rally that we're planning for next week for Election Day. We're going to drive the recreational right up to the town square, and Alex is going to stand on top of it and deliver the big speech. So...
Yeah, that's right.
I'm so pumped. I'm still writing it, but it's going to be awesome.
Well, you only have to write a victory because that's how much confidence you should have. Victory speech only.
The only concession speech that you're going to have to write is the one informing people of what concessions are available through the side window of the recreational where Mike and I will be serving, what are we going to do? I was thinking hot dog, testosterone hot dog.
Of course.
Testosterone pulled pork.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Impossibly testosterone.
Impossibly testosterone, yeah. Mm-hmm. Beyond testosterone for both, because, subtly different flavor profiles there.
For sure.
So, yeah, he's taking care of it for us, but he did say that he himself, and this was a little bit of a disappointment, wasn't going to be able to work on it because he is holding a Madison Square Garden underground garage sale.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
which that should be very exciting. Honestly, that's I can't wait to buy all of his little trinkets.
Well, I think he's set up quite a few. I think 50 tables. Like it for Billy, who is a man of means and a long legacy of life in the music industry, collecting all these bits and bobs. It looks like a flea market more than a standard run-of-the-mill garage sale. There's tables upon tables.
Absolutely.
It's
beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
He's got actually everything from his vineyard there. I got to make a choice as to what I'm going to actually get. I don't know if I'm going to do bottle of white, bottle of red, maybe a bottle of rosé instead. I'm not really sure.
And obviously Billy Joel's vineyard is called...
For the Longest Vine.
Nice.
Yes, that is what it's called. So, we've got, of course, high-end art collectors from Manhattan here. We've got, regular Joes like us from Queens as well. People are coming in. It's great because they can come directly off of the Long Island Railroad, which we've got, we're very excited about, is a marketing ploy that we're doing, a partnership with the Long Island Railroad that we're doing in the last days of the campaign that we are paying out the taint for, to
Thank you.
I'm just going to say, I don't know if that's much better.
Wrap an entire LIRR train as if it is the body of Ray Romano laying down horizontally.
Sleeping Ray.
Yes, Sleeping Ray. And of course, because it's coming from Limbrook, it's replacing the LIRR line that is called...
Oh, Long Beach. The Long Beach line, or the Babylon line. They both pass through.
It's replacing the Babylon line, which, of course, we've paid extra to have them rename as the Barombalon line, which is not a great pun, but we paid for it.
But it's the only one we could think of.
They were throwing it in as at a loss, honestly, for them. It costs a lot to change those signs. No, but people
I
are
had to
coming
go in with like a sticker to each.
And that was a great
station.
opportunity for you. You got to shake some hands, right?
Yeah, with all the people that can't vote in the election because they don't live in Limbrook.
Once you got that one stop out of the way.
Bit of an oversight. Yeah.
Well, still.
It's okay, though.
People see it on their way home, on their commute home. They look out and they're like, oh, Baron Balan. And they remember. Now, of course, that only applies to the people who are stopping in Limbrook. But...
So...
Yes.
I was just going to ask, how long until the... So, I do got to ask, though, as much as this is exciting and everything like that, the election is next week.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, this is very exciting. This is very nerve-wracking, too. I mean...
The very famous late April election time. Perfect for this kind of type of year.
Yes.
Yeah, excellent.
It's taking place, obviously, on April 26th, which, if you're into numerology, 426 actually represents the letters RAY, which is why we lobbied heavily for it.
Listen, it's all in our favor. Well, if nothing else, the strongest campaign move that we have right now is the podcast. We should probably still record.
Yes, of course. We should do a sort of special, this is our last big push to the voters, so I think we should really make it count of getting Alex's name out there in case they haven't heard it, getting him some pedigree. Maybe we even have in the break, Alex, maybe you even walk around here in the Madison Square Garden garage, the Madison Square Garage, and shake some hands, put your name down, show you're like a good sport, like you want some of this Billy memorabilia, you know
what, that sounds good. I'm gonna go do that. I have these vote for Alex push pins. I'm gonna stick them on people's chests just around here. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and don't forget to get your photo taken in the standee there. That is a recreation of the living room wall of the house that Billy drove his motorcycle through.
Well, oh yeah, cool. I'm gonna go do that. Okay. You guys
great.
want anything? You want a Billy dog? No? Okay.
Billy dog.
I'll take a Billy dog. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this thing so we can really advertise that live stream that we're gonna be doing.
So,
all right,
go ahead and unplug, Mike. Those I don't think they're not. I know they're like on stage doing sound check right now, but they're not gonna need those amps plugged in, right? Like that big plug over there that says amps. Just unplug that and put the Lenovo in.
Got it. Okay.
That was only a mild electrocution. That was better than usual.
I'm proud of.
Well, that was the out. Let's see how the in goes.
Okay.
Oh, that's severe. Yep, that was a severe one. All right. Well, the Lenovo's on though, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad.
Well, you're mostly plastic now, right? So it just sort of like arcs off of you.
Yeah, even though they didn't change much, they did actually replace my entire skeletal structure with silicone and plastic. That is correct.
By the way, those, let's just say, I know your eyes are up there, but down there, looking good.
Yeah. Listen, I guess they made two changes. All right, let's
All right, let's get started here. Alex, come back over.
Alex, did you get my Billy dog?
No, hang on. They got mustard and ketchup and relish and sorry, what else? Human hair.
I'll take relish and hair.
I'll take just hair, no bun, please.
All right, 3 hairs,
Carbs.
1 with relish, 1 with no bun. They're out of no buns.
Dang it. All right, then never mind. I don't want anything.
All right, never mind. Just the 2 hair, 1 relish. Thank you.
Wait, actually, Alex, can you get me a River of Dreamsicle?
God damn it. What's that? Do you still have any River of Dreamsicles? Uh-huh. 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 Yeah, they got some.
Okay, can I have that and some Vienna sausages? I mean, that one's pretty obvious, but
Can I get one of those and a Vienna sausage? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. He said no.
fuck. He refuses to combine those flavor profiles.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like some kind of I don't know, some kind of morality thing.
That's fucked up. Tell him his standards are too high for a garage sale.
Standards are too. Oh, he's gone. He left.
Alex, could you hunt him down again and get me an Uptown Swirl?
Good.
Fuck, I'll go find him.
All right, but first come over here. We're going to start recording. Welcome to Everybody Loves Raymond. It's the longest running Everybody Loves Raymond rewatch podcast in human history. Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 23. It's called The Garage Sale. My name's Adam. I'm here with Mike F.
Hello.
And mayoral candidate on the eve of his election, Alex Shear.
Oh, wait, that's me. Hi.
Oh, thanks for you got the snacks after all. That's what that pause was.
Oh,
yeah, no.
God.
Thank God.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay,
Here,
so we are gonna
one for you, and there we go.
We're gonna try to eat these snacks on Mike here, but if
Ew, I don't know where he's been. I'm not gonna eat it on him.
Listen,
okay,
you wish.
you're right. That is for the best. He did volunteer and has been volunteering pretty aggressively to do human sushi, but I think we're gonna pass just this time, Mike. And don't worry, I'll cut this out so
you're all cowards.
Your dignity will be preserved.
Cowards.
I just don't like the white meat.
All right, you're missing out. That's all I'm saying.
Taint. So we are going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 23. It's called The Garage Sale, and what do you guys say we take a break since we've been recording for about 10 seconds and come back with our scene-by-scene breakdown of that episode?
I say, hold on. I believe that, don't get me wrong, I trust our listeners, but we should also let them know right at the start that next week we are going to have a nice, extra long episode ready for them, commemorating the finale. We'll remind them at the end, too, but just wanted to make sure that you didn't forget about that. Anyway,
okay.
To the break.
Perfect.
To the break.
I'm gonna go campaign.
Dictionary of Cultural Literacy, 1 to 600, Mike.
4.
Okay, 4. Alex, 1 through 10.
9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Brother's keeper, comma, am I my? A saying from the Bible story of Cain and Abel. So, am I my brother's keeper? Hey, bro. Hey. Are you done with that machine, bro?
I'm actually not. I'm actually still using it very clearly. Making a present.
I mean, I think you... I'm sorry, what did you say? You're making a present?
I'm making a present.
What?
Because you see, Dad's been really bored recently.
Yeah.
And so I decided to actually make him something that he could use to keep
You're
entertained.
making our dad a Bowflex? You're making our dad my Bowflex? For real?
Yeah, actually I am. I'm also making him these 2 rocks that he can use as a kind of a drum thing that he can kind of like bonk together. But I'm also making him the Bowflex.
That is a good... look, the first gift is good because you know how he loves to do Foley work where he pretends that it's a horse running.
Yeah.
But, man, you're not making the Bowflex, you're just painting it. And I mean, I will admit the flames look cool.
I'm painting it Dad's favorite colors. Okay.
Flames.
Yeah.
Dad's favorite colors are flames because he's, a firebug, and we love that about him. He's tough and he's cool, and we love him, and we want him to get buff, but...
Because we want him to be able to beat up all the other dads.
I want him to be able to and believe that he already can, but thinks he should be able to do so more efficiently, yes. But I want to get my swole on. Look, I've downloaded... 9 episodes of my favorite podcast, and what am I supposed to do? Do the dishes with this shit on? No. I need it to get pumped.
Wait, what podcast is that?
Hi,
who the fuck are you?
What are you doing in our finished basement, bro?
I'm
semi-finished.
It's nice. I like it. I couldn't help but have heard your conundrum. I was on my way to get some funnily named ice cream. And I overheard your predicament. I'm actually running for the mayor of Limbrook. My name is Alex Shearer, and I'm here to campaign. Here, I have a pushpin.
Oh, wow. If we weren't so swole, that would have hurt. But
that didn't hurt me.
I will
just raw muscle.
I will say. This is actually. Darius, you won't know this, but I'm a huge fan, Alex, of Everybody Loves Raymond. In fact, I've got all the episodes of the Baroness Zonus loaded up and ready to go once my dickhole brother stops hogging the Bowflex.
Wait, hold on. We know this guy from that stupid nerd show that you've been listening to?
Shut up, dickhole. Let him finish.
Hey.
Yeah, we know this guy from that cool, not too long show that I love to listen to without headphones in.
Yes, we're very direct and to the point, and we don't take too long.
While I'm lifting in the garage. I'm one of those guys who weight lifts with the garage door open and blasts music, except instead of music, it's Everybody Loves Raymond. Luckily, I can keep doing that because I just paid a one-time donation to get lifetime access to the Baroness Zonus, which is an extra episode of Everybody Loves Raymond every month. Right, Alex?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And why don't you keep
How much you give this corporate shill?
How much did I give him? Well, I gave him exactly... Well, I gave him exactly as much as I wanted. Because you can pay what you want and still get lifetime access to the Baroness Zonus. I gave him... $5 because I get my allowance from Dad is $60 a month, and I spend $55 of it on whey protein.
55?
So I gave Alex $5.
Wow, $5 whole. I'm gonna go buy some nothing. Actually, I can't buy anything with $5.
Well, there is one thing.
You could probably buy more push pins.
Well, there is one thing besides push pins that you can buy with $5, like I did, which is lifetime access to the Baroness Zonus. And that URL, Alex, by the way, what was that URL that I put in to get to the Baroness Zonus?
Oh, that's easy. Of course, it is postfund.org/donate.
That's right. That rings up, and I've got it bookmarked anyway, so I can keep donating money.
Of course you do.
Of my own volition because I want to, because I enjoy the Baroness Zonus.
You know what, Brarius? You know what? I gotta say, this pushpin looking motherfucker over here.
Hello.
He seems kind of cool. I'm gonna go to postfund.org/donate right now and put in a donation just so I can hear more. Everybody loves Raymond.
Hell yeah, bro.
Wow. Thanks, whatever your name was.
Darius.
I'm Darius.
And I'm Brarius. And we're brothers.
Yeah.
And we have a newfound respect for each other thanks to the Baroness Zonus.
Wow. I would listen to a podcast starring you two. Hey, I gotta go get back to my friends. We're doing a podcast.
What? All right, welcome back to Everybody Loves Raymond. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 23. It's called The Garage Sale. And
The Garage Sale.
We're going to go scene by scene through it as we always do. But first, I want to know, Alex, what is your overall impression of The Garage Sale?
It's okay. I laughed. I cried a little bit, as I usually do for Raymond. Um, it was probably in the upper half of episodes that we've seen, but it also, I feel like it's going to be one that's going to fade from my memory pretty quickly. I like the premise. I like I like the humor between Ray and Robert and how like the family really didn't say any of Robert's shit. Like little like jokes like that just kind of like make sense in universe too well. I had a good time with it, but I don't have too much to say. Mike?
Yeah. I thought it was good. I thought it was a very good episode. I really liked the episodes where it actually gets genuine at points always stick out to me. And this is the first one in a while, maybe ever, that we've actually had one of those. Not ever. We've had a couple of those. What am I saying? But regardless, it was a very, very good episode. I thought that, wasn't the funniest. It was funny. It had its moments. Would not put it as one of the funniest episodes we've ever had. At the same time, I thought it was quite enjoyable. Thought it was a nice time. So, yeah, definitely upper half of episodes. Adam, your thoughts?
I agree. I think there were a lot of very funny moments. I think the cold open, for example, the interaction. My favorite moment in the episode was when they first arrive on Honest Frank's Yard of Bargains, and Ray and Deborah are talking about broaching the topic of having more kids, and the guest star behind them, who we'll talk about, is like very obviously turning towards them and listening, and just the silence that like creeps into that little moment, and the beats that they take where it's like, oh, I wasn't listening, long pause, and then Ray and Deborah like just walking away. Like, I thought that was a really, really funny this episode.
I agree.
Very good.
Was really only possible because we're, bringing in these guest stars and moving outside of the family dynamic. I like that this episode, even though they technically didn't leave the property of the two sets that we spend the most time in, brought the world to them a little bit. And anytime like we see them interacting with regular people, it's always a recipe for a great awkward moment. The emotional aspect of this episode, maybe it's just because we're not parents and we don't get it and we're stupid and we should die in a hole, but it didn't hit that hard for me. But I felt like there wasn't a real like confrontation like we sometimes get. Like I'm thinking about like the piano episode where Ray and Marie have like a real heart-to-heart about it, and just the sort of climax of the emotional conflict in this episode was sort of like they sort of decided not to decide. I mean, I thought it was a funny way that Deborah approached it, of like reminding Ray of how hard it is to actually raise kids, but it wasn't as impactful for me as I guess maybe some of the parent stuff is what gets me more. But all in all, I think it was one of the top quarter of maybe that's general. Well, I guess we've seen like 50 episodes by now. I would maybe put this in the top quarter.
Top quarter of 50 episodes is like 12.
No, I wouldn't put this in the top 12. I'd put this in like the top. What's more than a quarter? Like the top third, I guess.
Okay.
It's better than middle of the pack for me, but it's not that much better.
Yeah. I hear you.
So that's my long-winded explanation of how I feel about it. Any other thoughts before we? Okay, let's dive in then.
Let's just dive in. Let's break it apart.
Why the hell not?
I like this new Mike who just wants to dive in.
Dude's tired.
I'm hungry.
He's tired of.
He's
bullshit.
hungry. He wants his dog.
Go get
you didn't bring me the Uptown Swirl, and so
yeah, I ate it.
You suck.
Why don't you get one of those brats with "Tell her a crowd it" on it? Not worth it.
No, that's there. That works.
You think so?
That's something.
Okay.
I think that's something.
Zanzibar.
I don't want one.
Okay. So let's get into it then. We'll start with the cold open like we always do. Marie and Frank are eating breakfast in their kitchen. Frank is reading the newspaper and he says, "Listen to this," about something in the newspaper. Marie just
oh yeah, that's right.
Flat refuses.
I forgot it started with this.
Marie flat out refuses to listen to this. Nope. It's going to be something horrible, she says, but Frank reads it anyway. He shouts at the top of his lungs, "Dear Abby, I am a 60-year-old woman who just found out that my husband of 30 years is also my cousin, and my husband knew the whole time." I thought that was very funny.
It was so funny. Oh my God. This
good.
also made me realize that, like, Dear Abby back in the day is the equivalent of, like, being super bored and scrolling through the trash that is Am I the Asshole on Reddit.
Yeah, that's
like,
what it is.
Yeah, it's or r/a relationship advice or something like that, and just to see how awful other people are, or other people have it. It's just, I thought that was so funny. And then Marie's immediately interested.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, if you think about it, Abby, all of the shit that gets pumped into Reddit for, the 50 years prior to that, Abby was at the other end of that shit pipe, so to speak.
Yeah. Just listen, God bless Abby, because I don't know how she received all of that bullshit, because that's a lot to handle. Clearly.
There must have been letters in there that were just traumatizing to read.
Yeah.
Hopefully she had a dedicated staff of people who took the initial brunt of that, but wow.
She had many sub-Abbies, I'm sure.
Abbettes.
Mm-hmm. Abbettes.
Not to be confused with abbots, which were the monks that she had employed to be her sort of spiritual counselors after seeing these letters.
They would pray for the traumatized abbots.
They would pray for this 60-year-old woman who just found out that her husband of 30 years is also her cousin, and her husband knew the whole time. Anyway, Robert enters with Shamsky as Marie is becoming interested in this, and she asks Frank, "Why did you read that to me? What, are you my cousin?" And Robert pauses. That would explain a lot, and walks off. Just a great little scene.
This is a great scene. This is the first cold open, I believe, that we did not have anyone from Ray's family involved at all. I think this might even be the first one where Raymond doesn't appear.
Is that so?
Good point, Mike.
Last one was Ray's house. Yeah, I mean, at least for season 2, or the past 7 episodes of season 2, they've all been Ray and some other family member. So that's very interesting, Mike. It's completely a Marie and Frank cold open.
This is also the first one in, I think, 3 or 4 episodes where we actually got an opening.
That is true. It didn't just go
straight to commercial.
They gave up that time. Very true. Yeah, but we see that opening, the anti-gravity opening, which looks like shit, and we cut to the same scene, still in Marie and Frank's kitchen. Robert has a coin sorter.
Makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah, that tracks for, well, as he says, loose change, he's not a fan. The Hermansons are having a garage sale. Find out that this is Ed Hermanson, which is a great name. That awesome. Feels fantastic. Like a real person's name that they wrote into this.
Yeah. That might be someone's relative that they gave a shout out to or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Robert says that they're having a garage sale. Marie says, "Your father's been bringing home useless junk for 40 years. Frank says, "You were item number 1. Da-da-da-da. Classic
tit for tat. There
tit
you go.
And tat. Marie says that they should have a garage sale. Frank doesn't want to deal with people until he finds out from Robert that Ed Hermanson has already made $200. So now he's interested.
Right away.
We're having a garage sale. I will say. That's a lot of money, I will say, but I honestly
for the morning
think that,
too.
Well, that's the thing that brought me up. It's if this is the first day, that's a hefty haul for a garage sale. My God.
We know that Frank likes to get up around 8 a.m. too, so assuming
do we know these people's schedules that well?
He has
already?
said in a previous episode, no talking before 8 a.m. So we've got to assume it's 8 or shortly thereafter. Let's say it's 9. Ed Hermanson's already selling $200 worth of stuff.
Wow.
by 9. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
If he keeps that pace up,
$200 an hour.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's pretty
he could
good.
Be making like $1,600 a day.
Ed's got quite a bit of cash coming his way.
Sure is.
So once Frank finds out that Ed Hermanson has already made $200 by the morning, he's interested. He says that he's going to have one, except he's going to have a yard sale because a yard sale is classy. I think I follow the logic there. Maybe that
I don't.
A garage is like, it's where cars go and it's sooty and oily and whatever, whereas a yard might be beautifully landscaped.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I think it would look classier if I'm on the outside and I see someone has 3 walls around a sales setup. I'm thinking that person has his stuff together. If I just see random objects thrown all about a lawn, I'm not thinking that.
It is true.
I'm not thinking that.
So Mike's yard sale, or Mike's garage sale, Adam is yard sale. I'm with Adam on this one, Mike. You're wrong.
Shocker.
Feeling isolated?
I wonder if I could count on one hand the number of times that people have agreed with me on this podcast.
I don't know if we've had that many disagreements.
Has someone agreed with you on this podcast?
Why don't you take a hard stand right now and we'll see if we agree with you or not. About anything.
About literally anything?
Yes.
Okay. King of Queens is inferior to every other sitcom ever made.
I disagree.
What did I tell you?
I like the King of Queens. I think it's a good show.
I don't really care.
Not at all. It's a Raymond knockoff. They stole Doug.
Okay, well, let's compare it to... They did literally steal the character of Kevin was sucked out of the Raymond verse and replaced. Let's narrow it down. Is King of Queens better or worse than Raymond? I will say...
You're pausing way too long. You host an Everybody Loves Raymond podcast, Adam. This should be immediate.
You host the longest running Everybody Loves Raymond podcast in human history.
Do you even like this show, or are you just doing it for your college?
You know what? 1 star.
3 stars. They're different. They're different because King of Queens is less grounded, I feel like. So I will say, on the whole, Raymond is a better show. However, I do think King of Queens has the potential to be funnier in certain episodes.
Bad take. Terrible take.
What is your take? What do you think?
King of Queens sucks.
Okay, hard stance, Alex.
You told me to take a hard stance.
Oh yeah,
I've seen like 1 episode, and I don't care.
All right, so I guess it's true. Nobody agreed with you on that one.
That's right. Yay!
Play back the Judge Deborahs. Play all the Judge Deborahs. I will wonder if I won once.
Oh yeah,
no, you won.
Didn't you win one time? I don't remember. We haven't done that.
Did.
We do them all the time in the Baroness Zonus.
We are due for a Judge Deborah. Send your Judge Deborahs our way.
Yeah, send us a Judge Deborah, an oppositional hypothetical to our email or Instagram or Facebook, and we will do that behind the paywall.
Just for you.
Yes, let's get back to the episode though. Frank says that he will have a yard sale because it's classier. Ray enters at that point, and I believe when he comes in, he says, "Has anybody seen my thing?" Is that accurate or something to that effect?
I think so. Very, very much like
the most filler line possible.
Yeah, literally just give me an excuse to come on this in this scene.
Ray, why don't you enter and say something? Has anybody seen my thing? Frank immediately cuts him off, announces that Ray and Robert have until 8 a.m. to clear out all of the stuff that they're storing at the house. And Ray says, "Oh my God, you're moving?" And the smile sort of creeps across his face. But
it was
they
beautiful.
Say, no, we're not moving. And he says, "For a second, I thought you were moving," smiling, which would make us so, so sad. Then Marie,
we'll help you move.
Yeah, Marie comes over and kisses him and assures him they'll always be with him. And we have a beat. And then, he says, "'Cause I'll help you move." I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, it was good acting on Ray's part.
Yeah, I think Ray's getting much better from the pilot for sure at showing like these nuanced or like emotional like movements instead of just being flat whiny Ray that he was in the pilot. So we cut from there to the basement of the Barone house, which we haven't seen since Civil Wars. Frank, it's full of boxes. Frank comes down telling Ray and Robert to move. You know, they've got to get this stuff out. Frank leaves, then goes upstairs and Ray tells Robert that he used to come down to the basement to hide from Robert. Robert tells him that he used to come down to the basement to hide from Frank, and Ray says that Frank used to come down to hide from Marie. One time, they all ended up in there together, and she locked them in to teach them a lesson because Frank shut off the water while she was still in the shower.
I feel like there could have been an episode just about this.
I would have liked to see that comedy of errors. Robert says, good times. Fascinating to think that they literally, like, there's avoidant attachment and then there's literally avoiding each other. So
yeah, that is straight up just avoiding one another.
What a fascinating childhood it must have been. But it explains why they're so familiar with that couch in the basement, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, they know it well.
So, good times. So Robert gets to work. Mike just wandered off. I think he's browsing the tables.
He got too hungry. He's going to get some food.
Well, yeah, he's going to get some food, but he's looking at like Billy's fine chocolates, the collection that he's got laid out here. I hope he doesn't eat those because those are priced pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
look,
high.
he's got a box of milk.
Well, he's got, you know, obviously a box of white chocolate, and then he's got a box of red chocolate, which is part of Billy's unique, you know, special line that he's got going with Lindt.
Yeah, it's just milk chocolate with food coloring, but we care.
It works. And then there's sort of the random aspect of, you know, whatever kind of mood you're in tonight, different chocolate.
Yeah, it's like a multi-box.
It's two
little sampler set.
It is, yes, it's Joel's sampler.
I'm looking around. I don't know where the hell he went. I hear him. There he is.
He's got chocolate all over his face.
He's too busy.
Why is he yelling at that woman? What's he saying? Give me your chocolate. Oh, but she paid for that. Oh, he took it. He took it from her.
Here comes security.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Mike's fast.
I like how the security at Billy's garage sale is all dressed up like different era Billy Joels, right?
It's fast. Oh, look, he got him. Now security is eating the chocolate.
Okay, yep. They tackled him to the ground. They are just wailing on him with that signed Liberty DeVito guitar. And not in a like cool shredding way, like literally beating him with it. Okay, Ow. They're throwing him back to us. Hey,
Mike, over here.
How you doing?
Those bastards took my chocolate.
You have a little snack?
I wanted one. I was hungry. I just said,
You're supposed to pay for it. Those are special.
Yeah, come on, man.
No, what are you talking about? I don't gotta pay for nothing. Billy gave us a terrible Winnebago. I deserve some of his chocolate.
I don't know. That's bad garage sale etiquette, if you ask me.
All right.
And speaking of bad garage sale etiquette,
yeah. So we were talking about the episode before you abruptly wandered off. So Ray and Robert are in the basement, obviously, and Robert gets to work. He's unpacking the boxes or looking through the boxes. And Ray says that, you know, they should just let Frank sell everything. Like, who cares about going through all this stuff? And until he notices a box which has his hand turkey from school in it. He also finds his bug killing system that he invented in shop class.
I thought this was cute.
Can we talk about how Ray Romano does the single worst turkey impression that I have ever heard any human being make?
I think you're gonna need to do it or approximate it for me because
it was not like typically you talk to a person, they'll do a gobble gobble, gobble, gobble. You know, they'll like gobble.
Yeah.
He
Classic.
did and just like moved it. He didn't. Did not sound like a turkey. It was the worst thing I've ever. It was awful. It was awful.
Fascinating.
Took me out of it just because I realized that Ray Romano does not know what a turkey sounds like.
Real Arrested Development chicken vibes.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
No, that's a good note, Mike. I wonder if when we inevitably talk to Ray on this show, we should ask him just point blank, hey, do a turkey impression and see if he's improved.
Maybe he learned it. Maybe he had to do it for Somewhere in Queens.
Oh, hey, by the way, Baroness for April. Somewhere in Queens comes out April 21st. We are going to go watch it in the theater together.
Absolutely,
right, fellas?
Get excited.
Yeah, we're all going to go to the Regal Limbrook 1 and watch Somewhere in Queens, and then report back on it. So there's your carrot for the Baroness Zonus. Okay, god damn it, let's get through this scene. Ray takes out the bug-killing system he invented in shop class, which is 2 blocks of wood that you smack together. What does he say? Press them together until you hear a crunch?
Yeah.
Something to that effect. He wrote the instructions on the inside. The sweet, like, naivete of this, of, like, you can imagine Ray at whatever age just being thrilled with himself that he came up with a way to get around.
I like to imagine he made this in high school.
He made this in adult vocational shop class.
Yeah. For Carol.
Did you guys do shop class?
No, they didn't have it at my school. Well, I mean, I did like stage crew and stuff like that, so I learned some woodworking stuff, but it wasn't like a proper, this is the shop, this is how you use this stuff class.
I had a technology class that was kind of like wood shop, but not really.
All right. So, yeah, I had the same sort of thing, Alex. But Robert notices that all the boxes say Ray on them, except for one shoebox, a very small shoebox. He opens it up, takes out a pair of men's shoes and shows them to Ray. Ray says, "Oh, your baby shoes?" Funny. He's big.
Hey, yo, zinger.
And then Ray finds a teddy bear, Hector Von Fuzzy Pants, and he's overjoyed, but then he remembers that Robert's there, and he says, or something, Hector Von something. And Marie comes down. They ask her, why are you selling this stuff? She says that she needs this space for their father. She says she'll put a chair, a television, and leave his meals at the top of the stairs. Good image, whatever. And then Robert asks her about the shoes. Well, where are these? Where are these shoes from? Marie says, I got these for you for Christmas. Robert says, I never got these. And she says, oh, I must have hidden them down here and forgot about them. How funny. And just walks off.
How funny indeed.
Classic.
So did he just not get a Christmas present that year?
Oh, I hope he got something. You think they only got him one pair of shoes and didn't get him anything
it would be
else?
in character for that family. That's all I'm saying.
Meanwhile, Ray's got like 6 bicycles.
At the age of 30-something.
A Nintendo, 64,
I don't know if that timeline works.
No, it came out in 64.
Yeah.
No, it was the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Nintendo 1964. Got it. Ray... We cut to Ray bringing a box of stuff into his and Deborah's living room. He says, can you believe, they want to get rid of this stuff. They want to sell this to any Zeke with a pickup. Deborah is going to take some of the kids' old clothes to the yard sale and tells Ray to grab the cribs as well. Or the crib, singular?
Singular.
Okay.
Singular.
Grab the crib as well, which takes Ray aback. And this is where the plot of the episode sort of switches from this is a wacky family throwing a garage sale to now this couple is going to have a serious discussion about whether or not they want to have more kids. Ray gets taken aback. He says, well, what if we, I don't know. And he doesn't say it. He very much hems and haws about it. But Deborah picks up on what if we have more kids? Yeah, sure, Ray. What if we have 10 more and move into a shoe? As she's picking up the twins and they're all three children are like draped off of her. I thought was a very funny.
That was a good image.
Choice.
I also want to point out beforehand, he's picking through the thing and he pulls out the ashtray. We kind of skipped over that, but I thought that was a funny line. I made this ashtray for my dad in 1969. By the way, that's the year that the Mets won their first World Series, 1969. Thank you. That's all I had to add. That's the direction I thought they were going in. But 69 came up, and I was like,
you thought it was a Mets themed ashtray?
I made very possibly. I mean, depending on what month he made it in. If he made it October or later, it was blue. You never know.
That's true.
But
good point.
The line of what was his line of my dad said, I got to start smoking, and he never did. I thought that was just a funny little line there.
And then in response, Deborah said maybe your kids will take up smoking for you,
or something like that. Yeah.
Response to that. So really short scene. There are a lot of really short scenes in this episode. We cut to what I described as the visual wonderland of Honest Frank's Yard of Bargains. The great set design in this episode and great job of recreating the exterior of the house, I thought. It can't be exact. It's on a set, but, we totally get that is the same house from the exterior shots. Like, absolutely great job. I really, really liked that they built out this set for this.
That's actually true. I never really thought about that, but you're absolutely right about that.
We haven't seen it before. We've seen this side, but it would be, I don't know, maybe
what
they
about
did.
that time that Frank bent down when he was getting the mail?
That's true. That's what this is from.
Oh. I wonder if they went to because that was season 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, season 1.
I wonder if they went to the house that they shot the exterior for that.
They must have, because it's got the same brick. It's got a lot of the same stuff there.
Or found something similar enough for the shot that they needed to do. Fascinating stuff. I don't know what that sound was. Sorry, that sounded dismissive. I do think it's interesting.
Interesting. Fascinating.
Fascinating
Interesting
stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Frank he comes up to Ray and Deborah as they arrive, brandishing a thermos. He scraped the rust off of this thermos, and he is going to tell people that it was used by the Pope. He says $20. He says something to the effect of the eye makes the sale or something. I didn't write it down. He says he's going to claim it was used by the Pope. A guy walks past, uncredited. A guy walks past. Frank yells at him, "Hey, fella, you Catholic? You like hot soup?" I love that line.
I thought it was a good line. I really did. I love the idea because there's a lot of various Catholic saint paraphernalia out there. That's honestly don't get me wrong, there's a lot of prayerful experiences with it. I don't mean to shame anybody for it, but a lot of it sounds quite ridiculous. Like you go to a cathedral in somewhere in Italy, and their claim to fame is that they genuinely have on display St. Anthony Padua's left pinky toe, and that's just his thing. And I just love the idea that they grew it to the Pope has a line of thermoses.
Not a line, just his own personal one.
Yeah.
What would if you were canonized, Mike, and you did a great job and everybody loved you, but they're going to let you pick, you're on your deathbed, they're going to let you pick one relic to leave behind to put on display.
Oh,
what
that's a
would it
good
be?
question. That's a great question, actually.
Yeah.
My 2014 Honda Civic. I have to put it into. I just love the image of
in a
it's
mall.
an ornate stained glass church, and then on display is a very modern car.
Any car at all, it doesn't matter that it's modern.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex, what would yours be?
I honestly don't think I'm going to think of anything better than a Honda Civic. I'd say probably one of my pieces of art, but that's dumb. So probably I don't know, a burger I didn't finish.
Yeah, you'd go that route. That's
Funny
is
because
like
they would actually do that.
a ton of them are like that. Yeah, for sure.
What about you,
I
Adam?
would
What would you choose?
probably, I would want to do like the body part route for sure.
Don't say penis.
No, I wasn't gonna. I was gonna say severed head, and just
There are a lot of severed heads.
animatronics though, which I don't think a lot of them have.
You're gonna straight up Walt Disney this guy?
And it would be like motion activated, where you would go by, and I'd tell you about my life. I'd be like, "Well, hey there, welcome to my cathedral."
That sounds post-apocalyptic. I'm not gonna lie to you. Straight up dystopian.
It'd be funny.
It would be very funny though.
Deborah is talking about this bag of bibs that they have, charging $1 for them. What do you think, Ray? Buck a bag of bibs? But Ray then abruptly brings up the topic. What do you mean? What were you saying about not having any more kids? And Deborah says, I don't think this is the place to talk about it. And this is where we have this absolute scene stealer standing behind them, beautifully framed, of Ray and Deborah on either side of this guy who's slightly behind them. And you can see him as they're talking, turning and looking at them like with one eye, and they both look at him at the same time. There's a beat. He's like, oh, I wasn't listening. Long pause. And then Ray and Deborah just walk away. Just such a funny...
it was so good.
It was very good. Very well done.
What a well-executed little bit.
Tell us about the man.
Almost as if you knew I was going to do this. I will tell
always
you
do.
about...
What are you talking about? This isn't a surprise. Every time any human being on this show has a line, you give us their entire IMDb page.
Well...
That is true. You do that.
Nick DeGruccio. The Grooch was on Frasier, Saved by the Bell, The New Class, the superior Saved by the Bell series, and Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Which Sabrina?
Since the early one, the first one.
Okay.
He doesn't have a ton of IMDb credits, and that's because he has mostly been doing theater, directing theater, acting in things. He has directed a lot of... he's done off-Broadway, and then he's also done like touring productions of shows like In the Heights, Guys and Dolls, Man of La Mancha, Company. He's a pretty prolific theater director now. And this is more or less, I think, where he got his start, at least in TV. This is one of his few TV roles, and it's early, and I think he has Raymond to thank for all of it.
I genuinely am impressed by this man. I don't mean to make fun of him for it, because he's clearly more accomplished in this business than you, or like anybody here will ever be.
Speak for yourself.
However, I love the idea of just some producer watching Everybody Loves Raymond, seeing this scene and saying, get that guy to do Man of La Mancha. We want his directorial vision. Let's make it happen.
Yes, I don't think it was immediately thereafter. I'm pretty sure there was 30 years in between, but who knows?
I love that. You're definitely right, but I love that I just have that image in my head and I don't want it to go away.
Get me the Grooch.
Get the Grooch.
I wish we had watched this episode more in advance, because I would love to talk to the Grooch. Maybe we'll reach out for the Baroness Zonis to talk to him at length about this scene that he had one line in.
I would love to see.
It was a very funny line. The way that you brought your mic up to your mouth as you were saying, I would love to see the Grooch, and then pulled it away just as quickly, was very funny.
I said I'd love to see the Grooch. I don't know if that came across.
Yeah, it came across, but it came across as
very sensual.
I love to see the Grooch.
Excellent.
Okay, so that's the Grooch. Ray thought that since they hadn't done the snip, snip, snip vasectomy, that maybe more kids were in the cards. Marie appears out of nowhere. Are we talking about having more children? And Deborah, like, more or less immediately walks off. And then Marie sort of sidles up to Ray. Raymond, what did you mean by snip, snip, snip? And Ray says, great, now I gotta have that dream, and walks off. So Ray's subconscious is very suggestible, I think, and now he's going to be dreaming about, I guess, Marie performing a vasectomy.
Is that what the dream was? That was the implication, right?
What else could it be?
I don't know. It seemed like it was very specific, like, the audience will pick this one up. Everybody knows that if you think about your mom at the similar time as a vasectomy, then you're going to have mother vasectomy nightmares. And
you're gonna have the snip snip dream.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had a nightmare about the snip snip, so I don't know.
I bet this had like a 75% hit rate with the audience.
Oh, you think
like
it was
the
that
people
high?
The people who are familiar enough with vasectomies, I assume that they bust in, the American Vasectomy Association for this episode.
Do you think that they had to censor the word vasectomy?
I don't think so. It's a medical procedure, but I think it's funnier to do snip, snip, snip.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I don't know. Vasectomy, Mike, is not a dirty word.
Yeah, you say that. However,
it is a technical term.
It doesn't cost us anything to make T-shirts. Do you think if we just made a black T-shirt with white text on it that said vasectomy, people would buy it?
I don't actually. I think that would have a 0% sale rate.
we have trouble enough selling our other merch. Why should?
If you have a desire to have an ominous vasectomy T-shirt made, send us an email and we'll make it for you. I guess
we will. Yeah, I mean, it costs us nothing.
It's not a stance. It's literally just vasectomy, period.
Yeah.
Cut to Robert watching. He's got his eye on Mrs. Scarpula handling the cross-country skis. Frank has him watching the sporting goods section. Ray asks if he thinks Mrs. Scarpula is going to be handling or taking the skis.
Not while I'm on watch.
Not while I'm on watch. Frank approaches, tells Ray and Robert to bring out the sofa bed from the basement. Ray first says, "Oh, old Lucky," and then appears to correct himself, "Old Musty." So Ray is definitely fucked on that sofa bed.
Good for
Musty.
Ray.
Good old Musty.
Good old Musty.
Frank is also planning on making an area for Marie down there. This I thought was really funny. Bring down her sewing machine, a folding chair, and a hot plate. She can stay down there all day. Robert just says, "Sounds like a sweatshop, Dad." Frank says, "She can have a little fan." Just the funniest image, I think, of Frank thinking this is a good idea. Robert just deadpanning. I love it. We cut across the yard to Marie telling Deborah that she once wanted to have more children, but Frank wouldn't hear of it. She always wanted a little girl. In fact, she used to put Robbie in a little pink dress and dance him around the room.
What do you guys think of this one?
It's interesting. When Robert finds it at the end of the episode, he's distressed. He's distressed. That's a good word for it. But I don't know if there's anything. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. It was a different time, so it has like a different connotation, I think, than now when you just be like, whatever,
Yeah, I think that there are, if my memory serves me right, there are not a lot, but there are a few jokes that are very clearly transphobic. I don't think this bridges the gap of those very, very
no,
those other lines. So
I think the joke is just it. What's funny about it is more Marie trying to put Robert into this role, rather than.
I mean,
Robert.
it is also that, of course, Robert gets embarrassed by this, by
yeah,
or like, oh, poor Robert. Like, that is absolutely a line there, and it's also, it is also implied like, that makes sense, kind of thing, of like the Robert's a little messed up in some ways, and I think that they definitely wanted to imply that there was at least one kind of connection there.
Here's my question: What's the age gap between Ray and Robert?
2 years, 3 years?
Oh, we just worked this out, didn't we? It's something in the 3 to 5 year range, right? Because we worked out that Ray and Deborah were like 35 and Robert was like 40.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Right. No, it's just interesting because it's like I'm trying to imagine if like this happened before Ray was born, which if that age gap is as big as it is, then probably.
Yeah.
That's just interesting to me.
I think also another side of it is Marie having Robert and then immediately trying to replace him with the idea of a different child. Like, that's a funny aspect of it as well, of Marie looking at Robert and being like, well, I can make this work, and not even really like, and sort of like tossing aside whatever Robert is to try to fit him into this box. I think it's fraught territory for a 90s sitcom to make this joke and for us to look at it in 2023, but I think it is not intended in that in a problematic way. I think the joke is Marie, not Robert. So I think it's fine.
I think you're right.
It's not like the content of it is as funny to me as the callback is, from like a purely like mechanical standpoint of
right, this
we
is
set
more of a
this up
setup.
and it paid off with Robert finding it and freaking out about it. It could have been about anything.
And it hits.
So I think this joke is fine. So yeah, we've thoroughly unpacked that. Let's pack it back up and put it out on the yard. Marie tells Deborah that she wants to. Marie tells Deborah that she's getting up there and she should plant her seeding before the winter comes and everything freezes over.
Okay.
So she made that like insinuation, but didn't get snip, snip, snip.
Yeah, well, she knows about what it's like for an older woman. She doesn't.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't imagine that the conversation of Frank getting a vasectomy ever came up. Whereas,
true. Or if it did, got shot down pretty quick.
Yeah. Or
no. They can. I mean, do I spoil this for you guys?
No, please do.
Frank and Marie canonically fuck twice a week.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, that's like one of the best memories I have from this show. I don't remember what episode it was, but like it was like Ray had like an issue with the amount of times him and Deborah have sex. He wants to talk to his dad, and Frank's like, I mean, I don't know, twice a week ain't bad. When Ray's like doing like once a month, he just walks out.
Wow,
it just kind of puts them in a new perspective.
Yeah. So yeah, she tells Deborah, you got to plant your seed before winter comes and everything freezes over. Then we cut to Ray and Robert carrying the couch through the kitchen, the sofa bed from the basement. It drops on Robert's foot. Frank comes in and tells them that he's got a rube out there interested in the sofa, and tells them to get it out there. And they're like, it's heavy. Frank says, what are you sharing a brain? Take out the mattress. And then he takes a cushion off of the couch to, quote, keep him on the hook, and does a little bit of business with it where he smells it, flips it over, smells it, wipes it off, and then good to go. The
implication there being just, this couch sucks.
This couch is covered in decades of must.
Yeah.
Which is gross, but, the
it's
guy,
accurate.
Assuming that this is the same guy we see at the end of the episode, he's all in. Mm-hmm. He heard about this couch and he's interested.
He's sold.
The idea of a couch. They pull the mattress out and it knocks off everything on the table. And Ray, frustrated, kicks the couch. Robert says, hey, don't take your problems with Deborah out on the sofa bed. And everyone apparently knows about the problems with Deborah. It's all over the yard.
The Grooch told everybody. The Grooch clearly is the one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Imagine walking around a stranger's yard sale and being like, you see those two? He wants more kids, but she doesn't. Two other strangers.
Yeah.
You didn't hear it from the Grooch.
What happens on the yard stays on the yard. Fascinating that word would get around, but apparently so. Robert says, Deborah has a point. It's a lot of work raising kids. How much help do you actually provide? What do you actually do?
What an ass.
Good point, though. Ray comes home from work. Where's dinner?
No,
good
his point is valid. It's just like, how dare you be the one to bring it up? And
that is also
Deborah.
true. It's not your problem.
Yeah.
Ray asks what he knows about having kids. In fact, Robert says, that's right. I'm just Robert. I don't have any kids. I'm a reproductive cul-de-sac. I love that line. That was
That's
great.
That's a great. I'm gonna put that on my Tinder bio later. Actually.
Nice.
Nice. Deborah enters, and they sort of cut off their conversation and fold up the mattress, or try to anyway. Robert says, sort of semi under his breath, but kind of not really, I could still have kids, which Deborah overhears, and Ray drops the thing on Robert's foot again, or his shin or something, and then Ray and Deborah sort of turn away from him. Ray says that on the topic of having kids, Ray says he doesn't know that he's done yet. Deborah says, well, I am. And Ray sort of awkwardly looks over at Robert. Robert picks up on this and says, I'll give you some space. I'll just get this out on the yard. I'll fold it up. Does a lot of like physical business of trying to put the couch back in, trying to get it out of the way. Very funny physical comedy from Brad Garrett.
Yeah, it's good.
Then eventually
the show does that well.
He gives up and what does he say? It's funny, but something of like, I'll just leave this here.
Yeah.
Frank then pokes his head in to tell them that a woman just paid sticker price on the crib, which is upsetting to Ray. The crib, of course, being a symbol of Ray's children and them growing up and, not having more children or whatever. Ray rushes out. Meanwhile, Robert says to Deborah, and Miss Scarpula's on your side, too. After everyone else has gone, just funny. I don't know. We cut to then Ray on the yard rapidly approaching this buyer and telling her that the crib is not for sale. She
turns and she's clearly very, very pregnant.
Yes, she's pregnant for sure. In fact, I think she later says, I'm going to need this in 3 days. Mm-hmm. This woman is played by Susan Siegel or Seagal. I don't know. Maybe it's a Jason. Maybe it's a Steven. Susan Siegel, who was on Seinfeld, Ellen, The Nanny, Murphy Brown, Curb. She played a shocking amount of journalists in her acting career or reporters. What's interesting... Well,
this was also another role that she at one point said, this just in.
Well, she said it... She's said it twice. She said, this just in, then the baby was conceived. Then when she realized she was pregnant, she said, this just in. And then when she gave birth, presumably, off screen, of course, this just out. That's right. So anyway, Susan Siegel and her daughter were hit by a bus in 2012.
Wait, hold on.
You just exploded with laughter. That's going on the highlight reel.
Well, so she was on your factoids. Your factoids. Don't get me wrong. She was on Everybody Loves Raymond. She was on Seinfeld. She was a journalist in Curb Your Enthusiasm. She and her daughter were hit by a bus
and lived.
She and her daughter. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the segue. She and her daughter were hit by. They were driving. They were hit by a bus in 2012 and miraculously survived. They were not. They thought she was going to be paralyzed. She was not paralyzed. Her husband wrote a memoir about it called Struck.
Okay.
Adam,
thank God she's
we're never getting this woman on the podcast.
Oh, Susan, if you're listening, you're a hero. And we're so sorry you had to go through it. but
she is better than ever. Their marriage is stronger than ever. Like, it actually is a very inspiring story. And let's put the link to the book in the description of the episode, because it is a crazy story and you should read about it. But that's Susan Siegel or Seagal. And yep.
We got there. I just listen. Come on the podcast if you aren't deeply offended by Adam.
But yeah, that's Susan. And she does a great performance in this episode. I think she actually is acting again recently. So yeah, she's great. And read that book. Frank comes up. Ray says, "Give this woman her money back." And Frank comes up and says, "All sales are final." But Ray insists on giving her a refund. Frank says, "What are you smoking?" Which, this line, I mean, I hope this was the first use of this line, but God, what an overused line in all media, right? What are you smoking? Or, what are you smoking? I'll take some. I'll have what it's like. I'll have what she's having, or that's what she said. It's like that level of. I'm just gonna hope that they invented it for this episode, but not gonna do any research on that. Ray asks how much she paid for it, and he reaches for his wallet as Marie and Deborah run up. He's so invested in this woman not taking the crib that he's going to pay his dad by way of her, out of his own money. But the lady, Deborah, and Frank have to physically pull it away from Ray, who's pulling on the crib. And of course, Marie joins in with Ray, which I thought was such a funny detail, until Ray blurts out, he says, "I want another baby." And everyone is taken aback and shocked, and he wheels the crib off, picking up baby clothes along the way. And speaking of, Alex, I think you touched on the classiness of yard sale, or maybe Mike did in his anti-yard sale screed. Things all over the lawn. Like, there are literally baby clothes on the hedges, like just strewn there. So it is kind of a mess, I will say.
Super classy.
But Ray wheels the crib off.
I like how he used the crib as a shopping cart. I thought that was the image in my head. Listen, I like this moment. This is a good moment.
It is a great moment. As he exits, Frank says, "That is one special kind of idiot." And then, sort of off to the side, a woman comes up to ask Robert how much for the photos of the cute little girl in the pink dress. And
then Robert is clearly distressed.
Oh yeah, Robert is clearly distressed. This is Sarah Rush. Sarah Rush has 32 credits spread out across 5 decades, from Battlestar Galactica in the 1970s to The Middle in 2011.
Oh, she must be friends with Patricia.
She must be friends with Patricia Heaton, because also she did a documentary in 2005 called The Bituminous Coal Queens of Pennsylvania, which was produced by Patricia Heaton and directed by her husband, David Hunt. Patricia's husband, David Hunt, who incidentally is going to show up on 3 episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Wow, that's awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, so clearly they have a long friendship, and that maybe the friendship started here, or maybe that's why she got this role.
I would love it.
Either or.
You'd love to see it.
Briefly, because I do think we talked about this beforehand, I do think we should devote a Baroness Zonus episode to www.sarahrush.com.
We did not talk about it on the podcast. We talked about it off mic. And
I know.
My God.
We had a long discussion about Sarah Rush's website. If
you want to know why,
go to sarahrush.com.
We'll talk about it at length on the Baroness.
We'll go guest book entry by guest book entry in, I don't know, 6 months from now.
We have a lot of Baroness.
We'll get there.
That might have to be a double month Baroness. Anyway, so yeah, that's Sarah Rush. I mean, she's got obviously a long career and lots of interesting stuff. We know she has about 500 fans in Atlanta. But we cut from that scene to the couch being in the kitchen. Ray sitting on the couch. Deborah comes in to talk to Ray. Ray says He just wanted to stop and think about it for a second before, swearing off having any more kids. Deborah says, okay, let's think about it. Another baby. We have 3. Ray says the twins were kind of like a twofer. Deborah says, I gave birth to them. Believe me, we had 3.
Funny joke.
Yes, is funny joke. Ray is not saying that he wants more, but he doesn't want to say that they'll never have any more. And
because he hates making choices.
He does hate making He does, actually. That's a great insight, Alex. But he talks about how he liked when the kids were little and, all that. They liked when the kids were little, and they reminisce about that. And they hug. Ray and Deborah hug, and then Marie bursts in. She says, oh, my God. She says, I'm happy you and Deborah are working things out, but please, this is my kitchen. Ray says, we're just talking, and Marie says, okay, but I'm going to be right outside this door. Which, I guess the implication is she has definitely caught Ray on Old Lucky with a young woman before.
I don't know if she's caught him there, but this definitely reminded me of like the high schoolers leave the door open when you're that kind of thing.
Of course.
Well, he is in a parent's house. Makes sense.
Yeah, and he's in the kitchen no less, so definitely don't want any funny business happening there. Good old sex. I guess I just love the assumption on Marie's part of that Ray and Deborah are willing to or at all interested in having sex in her kitchen.
Yep.
It's just very funny.
During a yard sale.
They need to be discouraged from it. But Marie leaves, and Deborah reminisces about all the times that, they have some baby clothes and there's a stain on it. It's from the time that Ray spilled medicine on one of the twins because he was trying to give them medicine in the dark. Allie sneezing on him with a mouthful of tuna, which was disgusting to me.
That's nasty.
And then said,
that's gross.
She says, think about it. More kids. And Ray takes a beat. Can we give back the ones we already have? So he is definitely brought down to earth here. Mm-hmm. And he goes to put the things back on the table. Deborah says, you okay? And he says, I'm tired. And he leaves. I guess just the thought of all the work that went into raising their 3 kids, or, raising to the point that they're at, these 3 kids, has made him tired and brought him back to the reality. Deborah smells the baby clothes and sort of, she does some very nuanced facial movements, like emoting, that you can really see her decision making or thought process play out across her face, which I thought was some really great acting from Patricia Heaton, where you sort of see her thinking maybe it wouldn't be so bad to have more kids, thinking about not just the bad times like she was telling Ray or the times that were difficult, but thinking about, actually it was kind of nice to have babies. And she's convinced almost and is about to go talk to Ray. She says, hey, Ray. But just at that moment, Robert comes in, flipping through a stack of photos and yelling, Ray, please tell me we had a sister.
What a great way to break the seriousness of that moment.
Steamrolling.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
I like the idea that Robert would rather have a sister who is either estranged or dead
or gone.
Yeah. Than actually have photos of him in a dress as a child.
That's very funny. Yes,
funny
you're right. I
me.
didn't put that together, but you're 100% right.
Yeah, that is such a good point. We cut to then Frank, that's the end of the episode proper. We go to our hot close, which is the opposite of the cold open. Frank is leading Don into the kitchen, doing his best salesman pitch to show off the sofa bed. Don, is it? He says. Don lays down on the sofa bed, floating on a cloud, isn't it, Don? And Don says it's like a pole digging in my back, at which point the bed like mechanism releases and sandwiches Don in the folds of the couch.
Excellent physical
and
comedy.
we fade out.
Don doesn't try to get out of it at all. He just accepts his
He just
fate.
sort of takes it. Yeah, what an unfortunate man. He
Joining
says,
the ranks of Leo.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't think he died.
We don't see him again.
That's true, but maybe he bought his couch and was a satisfied customer. We fade to black, and Frank says, it comes with a thermos. Are you Catholic? Still trying to move that thermos. Don is played by Richard Marion. He's a working actor, 41 credits, many 80s sitcoms, a couple of 90s sitcoms. Ones that stood out to me were like Charles in Charge, The Wayans Brothers, and, of course, Raymond. This, unfortunately, was one of his last roles before he died in 1999 of a heart attack at the age of 50. So he, unfortunate. Maybe I should stop telling you how the guest stars were traumatically injured or died.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, we got to get their full story, but
it's true.
I guess we won't be interviewing him.
That's true. We're not going to be reaching.
I mean, do you know anyone who could do a seance? We have interviewed the dead before on this podcast.
Yeah. Let's get.
I should know
back here.
Yeah. Okay. We can reach out to the estate of Richard Marion and see if he wants to talk about how he was sandwiched in Ray Romano's old musty sofa bed. But until then, that's this episode. That's season 2, episode 23, The Garage Sale. Now it's time to turn to our classic barometer, which of course is the scale from 1 to 10 on which we rate Ray's performance as a husband, brother, son, father, yard sale, stock boy, and all manner of other things. So 10 is the great dads of sitcom history. Your Danny Tanner, Uncle Phil, Carl Winslow. Mike, give me one.
Phil from Modern Family.
Phil from Modern Family, good. Phil Dunphy, yes, that is a good one. And 1 being the bad men of television history, your Walter White, Don Draper, men who actively harm their families. Alex, another example?
Bad person, you got it, come on.
Bad. You said John Lennon last time.
Which? Darth Vader.
Yes.
Darth Vader is a terrible dad. That's correct.
Terrible father. Cuts his son's hand off. Excellent. Good. So let's start with Alex then. Alex, where is Ray coming for you on the barometer this episode?
He's coming in low. He handled all this pretty poorly. I get a lot of it was like the yard sale people being like incredibly nosy and the family being incredibly nosy, but like he just would not let this go. I mean, dude, I get it's like symbolic, but you could always just buy another crib.
True.
It's just like I feel like he was just airing out his dirty laundry with Deborah, like just in front of a bunch of people, and that didn't have to happen.
That's true.
And he had multiple opportunities to stop it. And I feel like the discussion at the end did not make up for his behavior. 4.
Whoa. All right, Mike.
5.5. I disagree with Alex. I don't think that he handled them well. He didn't handle himself great. Ideally, they would have talked about this beforehand. But I understand, given the emotional distress and the oh crap, we're making this decision now part of things. I understand it. Yeah, he blew up. Yeah, he embarrassed himself. But I think he had a mature conversation at the end of it. I don't think he intentionally put Deborah out there. I think he embarrassed himself, not necessarily the rest of his family. As far as a lawn salesman, as you mentioned, terrible job. Did not do a good
salesman.
Did not do a good.
Would you like to buy this grass?
Yeah, lawn salesman drives around with a truck full of sod.
Okay, well,
this is a yard sale stock boy.
Fine, whatever you want to call him, he sucked at it. He did not make any sales, did not close any deals, forgot his ABCs. So not too great on that end. But overall, yeah, I can't really fault him for it. But I also, far from an ideal circumstance. 5.5 feels fair.
Okay. You both make excellent points. I will say I want to dock him pretty severely for airing this dirty laundry on literally like on the lawn of his parents' house in front of 30 people, mostly strangers, putting Deborah in the situation where Marie is telling her that her baby fields are going to be frozen over, and she should plant her seed. Like, that is a messed up position to put Deborah in. I think as a father, though, like, I do like the impulse in Ray to want to have more kids. So I don't want to be too harsh on him for dealing with what is really a transitional moment in his life, in his relationship with Deborah, and his sort of self-image as a parent as well. So I want to come in around, I guess I'll come in right between you guys at 4.5, which is not right between you guys, but is pretty close.
It's erring on the side of Alex, but that's okay. When does anyone ever agree with
correct.
Me?
Yeah, I just think it was, have the conversation at the right time and don't scream, I want to have more kids as you're stealing back a crib from a pregnant woman. Just not a good look. So there's a right way to handle this, and this was not it.
Okay. Well, that brings Ray's average score for this episode out to a 4.7. Throw it on the barometer, send it to Limbrook U.
Yes, we want to thank the Will and Belinda Bates Foundation, no relation, for funding another envelope in which we will put these notes and send to our friends at Limbrook University, where we are studying together how Ray represents the modern man, circa 1998. But until we are able to publish that report, we're just going to have to keep going, watching each episode of Everybody Loves Raymond in order, recapping it, rating Ray's performance on the barometer, all the stuff that we do that you love. Next week,
next week, just as a reminder, next week is the last episode. We're doing the two-parter. We're doing the two-part finale of what is the last episode? The wedding.
Yeah, I had this all queued up. And
I'm sorry. I thought that you were saying we would be back next week. I just wanted to remind everyone we have a nice thick sode for you next time. So make sure you come on down. Come on back.
Delicious.
Yes, we are doing an unprecedented double episode for the season 2 two-part finale, The Wedding, parts 1 and 2, season 2, episode 24 and 25. No other Everybody Loves Raymond podcast in human history has ever combined these two episodes into one episode. So look forward to that.
So long, I want to die.
But yeah, we're going to be talking about the season 2 finale next week, so come on back for that. And all will be revealed. Alex will reign victorious, I'm sure, in the election. We'll find that out. Question mark.
Tune in
we'll
next
see.
Week to find out.
Who knows? But the polls are looking pretty good. Speaking of polls, by the way, in the big wrap-up, you can, if you're listening to the show on Spotify, interact with us by telling us what you would give Ray in this episode using the Q&A feature. So that's fun. That's a Spotify-only thing, though. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Barone Zone, and you can email us at raymond@postfund.org. You can go to postfund.org to listen to the Baroness Zonus. April is not out yet, but we will be breaking down our experience of going to see Ray's new movie, Somewhere in Queens. So look forward to that. Otherwise, though, I think that's it, right, Mike? Or is there one last thing to say?
That is it. Well, there's only one last thing to do, and that is our classic sign-off. So thank you all so much for listening. Please come back next week. But until then, don't forget that everybody
loves
Raymond, and we love